Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to talk about this new ability. Today in the town hall, Nate revealed that we have new abilities coming to the game through the Rift Watchers expansion, and we learned that this will be one of those icons, one of those abilities. And he didn't tell us what it was, but he called it Fury. He said this is called Fury, and he said go ahead and speculate on what that's going to be about. I've got some theories, and I've heard others. I've heard people say it might be something like Enrage, but applying to magic, or for that matter to archery monsters, because currently Enrage only applies to melee, giving us, well, Enrage only amplifies the damage of melee monsters, but it does affect speed of all monsters. And so this could be something more applicable to kind of all monsters, but that was someone else's idea. I think that might have been Steve R's idea, if I recall correctly. My idea is that Fury might be something where when it kind of almost like what is Grum's ability? Almost like Bloodlust. I think Fury might be almost like Bloodlust, only it's an aggression or an anger. It's an amp on your damage output and maybe your speed in conjunction with loss of your allies. So when you lose one of your allies, maybe you get amped up in the same way that when Grum kills somebody, the Bloodlust triggers increased damage and speed for him. Fury could be, I lost an ally and I'm going to gain speed and damage output. That was just kind of a guess, but I love the idea that we're going to get new abilities, and I definitely think the amount of complexity of Splinterlands gaming experiences is going to continue to evolve because they keep introducing new abilities, which to me means that this game is growing in complexity every day. And when we look at it, we think to ourselves, it's an NFT blockchain-based auto brawler, like a collectible card game auto brawler. That's what you could boil it down to, but that's not. It's so much more than that, because every single match is dependent on mana and dependent on rule sets and dependent on how the abilities that you choose interplay with one another. There's going to be synergies, and your defender, your opponent, has their own synergies at work and counterplay on those synergies, right? So it's so simplistic in like first glance, but it's so deep and complicated when you actually get into it. And I think new abilities is a part of just multiplying that complexity, because one new ability interplays with all existing 10 or must be 20 or 30 different abilities that are already existing in a way that creates so many complex, hard to understand results. And that's why I've said before, it really boils down to the meta boils down to this evolution of understanding for what we already have, because the abilities that exist, it takes time for us to learn how they interplay, and then they throw us new balls into the juggling act, and suddenly you now have to incorporate those as you struggle to understand how they each impact the meta. And that's why it's an evolution. And like, look at this abilities list. Affliction, like it just goes on and on and on now, and it's going to keep being increased, which it means that the complexity and therefore the, I'd say, joy of playing the game will continue to grow. And this, to me, also, not only does this speak to the quality of the game, the entertainment value of the game, the replayability of the game, but it also, to me, speaks to the questions around bots and whether they're going to one day replace us and just is this going to become gamified, what's it called? Yield farming, right? Like, is this just gamified yield farming? Like, there's just resources on a daily basis, but you essentially playing the game with which to extract to farm the resource. It is, but not in that simplistic kind of derogatory sense where it's like it just, you come in and click a few buttons and you earn it. No, it's like deeply thoughtful and increasingly so every day, week, and month. And this is the tip of the iceberg, guys. It's just a mana cap, abilities, different leagues now, modern and wild. We're getting, I guess, subgenres within the game, including brawls, which is a game within the game, land, which will be a game within the game, the farming of each of those, SPS for brawls, new tokens for the land. And then as land launches too, not just abilities and mana cap will affect your game and your interplay of your monster choices, but also we're going to have those items and spells that you're going to be able to drop after you've already chosen your team. There's such an evolution of the complexity of this game, and it's so deeply exciting. And it starts with these new, the constant iteration on how the gameplay feels due to new abilities such as Fury here. I'd love to see in the comment section what you guys think this one is going to be. Like I said, my best guess is that it's going to be something of almost a revenge type vibe, where bloodlust, but when you lose a monster. I'd love to hear some cool suggestions from you guys, and I can't wait to see Rift Watchers, which is, by the way, out in roughly 4 weeks. Time is flying. Huge things are coming. Splinterlands is just getting started, and like Aggie said a few months ago, once the fire hose starts, or once the trickle starts of progress in the development and the new iterations and the new things are releasing, including Rift Watchers, it's going to feel like we're drinking from a fire hose, and I already feel that way. We've got Splinterfest coming around the corner. We've got Rift Watchers coming. We've got validator nodes, land, like tons of huge things coming. SPS rewards to brawls. It's so exciting. I hope you're enjoying it. Thanks so much for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. God bless.